Choosing a blank template allows you to create anything that you want. So you bypass our templates and you basically build your own, which is pretty cool. So creating a template through hands-on is pretty simple. And so for the next 5 minutes or so, I'll walk you through the basics of doing so. Now you'll notice that I have a couple of images that I've placed onto the desktop so you can see. And within this layout, this first layout, you'll notice that the entire layout has been created for us. Basically, we've designed this layout in Photoshop, but it can be done in Fireworks, Photoshop, or anything else for that matter. This is really more geared to designers, but honestly anyone can do this. So once you've created your template, basically what you need to do is remove all of the content area of that template. And so here's an example of removing the content out of the template here. You'll notice that the entire template is left behind once the content area has been removed. Now, content basically means what's in the center of the page. Anything in the background, the header, the top, the footer, those things are part of the template, and that's what we're about to define here. So let's go ahead now and close this, go back to our builder, and begin working in the page mode, which we are right now. This is where you actually start off. So you'll notice that when I click on things within the template, you'll notice it says Edit Template because we're in page mode. So let's go ahead now, click Edit Template, and leave the page. Basically, that takes you over to the template area, and you can begin removing items directly off the page. Now, for right now, let's just go ahead and click on each item and hit the Delete key on our keyboard, like so. And we're going to hide the content area. See, this is the container, basically the holder for page mode. So in other words, in page mode, everything goes within this square in page mode. But we're in template mode right now defining the template. So let's go ahead and hide that so we have more space, and also to delete the backgrounds that are in here. So now that I've done so, it's completely blank. So let's go ahead and upload now some of those files that we had. Insert, Upload. Choose Files. Now, this is the directory where I have all of my files. Now, this is on my personal computer. You'll be doing the same. You'll be uploading directly from your personal computer up to the system. I'll show you a quick little shortcut here. You can click on a single image and upload it, of course. You can also click by holding the Shift key, clicking your first image, and clicking the last to upload the entire contents of the folder, which is very convenient, especially when you have a large site. But for right now, we only need 2 files. So let's choose Template, and let's choose the logo piece here. And there we go. And we'll click Open. Now you'll notice that both files are listed here. It shows the logo and the template, and we just simply upload them to the server. Once this is done, both files are placed onto the page. But one thing you'll notice is that the larger image is covering the logo that we've just uploaded. So simply click on the toolbar at the top left and click down. And here's our logo behind it. We'll put that into position. In addition, let's go ahead now and define the body of the template. Now this is done by clicking the Show Content button here. And we will move our content area into position to define where all of the content in page mode will go. And so let's go ahead and stretch this out here. Now watch what happens when I come and I take the template mode section. Watch the bottom of the footer that we have designed. See it? Now you see, this is all just one solid image right here. Let's lock this. This is the solid image of the template layout. Right? So one solid image, and the system will do the slicing for you, right? You simply upload that image, boom, it's done. You just define your area, the system handles the slicing for you. So let's go ahead and scroll down now and define the rest of our content area. Now watch how I do it just above the footer here. Right? Now, of course, I could go lower if I want to. The problem is that the content basically will be going over that green part and the footer. And that's not what you want. So define it just above that green area with a little bit of space, because spacing is really important when you're creating your layout. Let's go over to the top now. You'll notice that this particular logo, this customer required that it was a rounded logo, which is a little more difficult to do, and I'll show you some workarounds for that. But you'll notice that the content area does not go over the logo, because that's honestly not what you want, because basically it'll slice it into the layout. So let's do that just under the logo, which is what you see me doing here. And we have just defined it. So now let's click onto the background and choose our background color. And let's go with I don't know, like a gray. Let's go with a soft gray. There we go. And so now that the background is done, let's go ahead and insert now some navigation onto the page. Insert, Gadgets, Menu. The menu is placed onto the page by default. We'll go ahead and choose right justification on this menu. You'll notice how the text moved to the right, and I'll place it here and give it some space to grow. Now that all this has been done, you'll notice that the menu is in blue and very hard to see. So what we need to do now is to define the styles for the entire site. When we define the styles, basically what we're doing is we're setting something called the CSS, which is Cascading Style Sheets. It manages the font colors, the way headings look, the way links look, backgrounds, So we're going to go in now to define that. So let's hit Publish. So we publish what we have, and now go into Styles over on the top. You'll notice in the menu, Styles next to the Insert button. Now when this is done, basically what happens is we take a preview of the template that you've chosen, and we allow you to be able to make those CSS changes right here in simple menu tabs that you can see over on the top. So you'll notice Based Text Styles. So you can choose your default font. We usually use Arial 13, which is very standard font. It can be read on any browser, any computer, any mobile device. So usually Arial 13 is the best choice, but honestly, this is your site, so we want you to do whatever you'd want. So say for instance we choose something else, choose a bigger font, you can do that if you choose. But for right now, let's go ahead and go back to Arial 13, which is perfection. We can also change the font color here, but I'm going to leave it at black. Changing the font color is very simple. Just click onto the little color wheel and select your color. Let's move to headings now. Now in the heading section, you can choose to have multiple colors for your headings, but consistency sells when it comes to building websites. So you really don't want to stray away with too many colors. 2 or 3 colors per site, really all you want. But for right now, let's just choose heading 1 and heading 2 to have a different color. So let's choose something cool here. Yeah, like that is good. There you go. And so now I've defined my heading colors with this cool warm looking orange for heading 1 and heading 2, but heading 3 and 4 is just standard headings, so we'll leave those the way they are. Let's move now to links, and you'll notice now that we have a representation of those links. So you'll notice it says this is a link and then regular text. The reason why we do this is so you can visually see before you actually commit to your colors. So I don't like to underline links, so I'm going to choose no underline for my links. Notice it changed, so the preview is changed for you now. And I'm going to choose the same color that I used for the headings. I'm going to choose that for my link color. In addition, I'm going to choose a hover color, because when I hover over it, in other words, when the hand goes over the link, I want to define a different color. So let's choose a nice warm green, and you'll notice how nice that looks. Right, so we've just now defined text and links and headings. So let's go ahead now and define our menus over at the top, which is right up here, home page, contact us, about us. And of course we'll add more pages as we go along, but let's define that now by going to menus. Now the text color is the first thing we'll change to white. Then let's go ahead and change the background color to something that'll stand out a little bit more, but not too obtrusive, but just enough to show the difference. I'm also going to remove the underline color. You can do that here. Underline links, I'm going to say never, because it just doesn't look right. And then the horizontal separator, I'm kind of skipping over a little bit here, but you'll be following the same patterns, I assure you. So let's go ahead and click the separator color, and let's choose white for that, because I think white would look pretty hot right there. The mouse over text color now, you'll notice when we mouse over the links themselves over on the top, now that they look like buttons, we'd like to get a nice color there. So I think I'm going to inverse this. So let's go ahead now and choose a black text color for the mouse over, and then let's choose a white background. Watch what happens here. So now we've just defined that. Now, of course, you can go in and create anything you want. You can put in your own custom colors, but remember, contrast when it comes to navigation is extremely important. Make it very clear, make it very concise, and consistency, again, sells from page to page to page. So you might want to just stick with certain colors that have high contrast. Okay, very good. Let's move on now to bulleted lists. And basically what this is whenever you insert a bullet onto the website, some people like to put cool little icons or stars or asterisks or whatever. I like to leave it standard, but you can simply upload your bullet image. The system will put that in every time that you insert text onto the page and make it into a bullet. It will adapt with your CSS, which is your cascading style sheets right here. So let's go ahead and save and exit. And now our template has been defined. You'll notice that the navigation now is the correct color. Notice the heading here where it says content goes here. You'll notice that heading has adapted to that warm orange that we'd chosen. So let's now go down to the bottom. See, the bottom here has nothing. So I'm going to go ahead and click onto the navigation, and I'm going to copy that element. You'll notice it copies exactly. And we're going to move this down. And we're going to left justify this now, just to place it into its position. And let's stretch it out. And I wouldn't mind choosing a smaller font for this. Considering that it's the footer, we can probably get away with that. So there you go. And by the way, let me slow down on that. Just click onto it, go over to the font text size, and you can change it here, as well as the font itself, font type, that kind of thing. So we're done. Now put something else in here. So let's hit insert text, drop it onto the page, and we're going to put a little slogan. And I've chosen to put holistic health. And let's go ahead and change the color of that to white. And maybe a little bit larger. Not too big, but just so it fits nicely. There you go. And then down on the footer, let's scroll all the way down to the footer, and let's follow the same procedure again. And this time, I'm going to put a copyright notice on the bottom right-hand side. Excuse me, as I'm not a great typist. All right, so let's pop that in, change the color, just like so. And let's scroll up to the top now. Our template is now finished. Let's hit publish, and let's go to page mode. Within page mode now, you'll notice that absolutely everything has been assembled. Totally cool. Your navigation is set. You'll notice down on the footer, your navigation is set here as well as your copyright notice. The page is ready to go. Notice it says page mode. The white area now, we can begin filling in the content and upload the images that are needed. So let's do so by clicking Insert, Upload, and we'll choose our files. And let's choose selectively here, because I know that some of these we don't need, so I'll just go ahead and select by holding down the Shift key. You'll notice I'm holding down the Shift key, but in PC, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's Control key is what you use. Just experiment until you find it. And let's go ahead and open these now, upload that to the system, and it will drop directly onto the page in page mode. And let's go ahead and move all our goodies where we'd like it. So for right now, I kind of know where everything goes already without referring to our layout. So let me just go ahead and do so, just for the speed. You'll notice that I also sliced the logo, the rounded logo, into the image here at the top. And I did that because it was important for us to make sure that it lined up correctly and that it didn't tile in the layout. So that's the reason why we cut it into the image. So I also noticed that this image is just 1 pixel too big. If you look very closely on the top right-hand corner of the image there, it's a little too wide. So I simply just click into the width of it and choose 0 and set it. That easy. Let's lock that into position. Now this is a practice that I used very, very often. I like to lock all of the images in place because it guarantees that nothing moves. I'm using the arrow keyboards to line it up, by the way. And let's pop in our buttons here as well. And on later tutorials, what we'll do is I'll also show you how to create custom CSS buttons that are pretty cool and allows rollovers and all that, but it's also crawled beautifully by Google, and boy, do we love that. So let's move our images into place and put our more buttons down, and I will basically show you the layout that we have here as compared to the design that we had done before. So let me pop in some text as well. Very simple, just like so. And now that that's done, we can begin defining the actual content, right? But I just wanted to just basically get the layout for you. Insert, and let's do a line to separate the content here. Pretty simple. And copy that element as well. And separate. And so as you can see, building pages now is going to be a very, very quick experience. And so building your own template is a lot of fun because you can create things in no time. But as you can see in this video that we've done here, it really didn't take much to be able to build a template. So on the next video, what we would like to do is, if you don't have the skills of Photoshop or Fireworks, we can show you how to build a layout directly in the system using just shapes and a few images here and there. That'll be on the next video that we create. Thanks for watching.